What is up, Schwingers? Welcome back. Here we go. Year 6 of this dynasty. Somehow, this is not the best angle for this video or anything like that. Got to figure out a better situation for these videos. I think it's going to be at home most of the time. But year 6 of this dynasty, somehow, it's amazing, guys. A lot of dynasties fail before this time. So, we're changing instead. We're changing, we're refreshing, we're moving to the Super Flex League. And even though the videos haven't been as consistent due to like a lot of, just a lot busier schedule with my work throughout the year, not just during football season, a much shorter summer, only a couple weeks for me or 3 weeks for me, camping for part of that. So just a lot less time than I've traditionally had in the past with my job. It's good changes moving up through the ranks, but just been busier. But the passion's still there. Love Schwing Dynasty football. Super excited to jump back into the season with us, with you guys. Happy that the entire original cast is still on board. That to me is excellent. That's a good sign. I'd like to recognize the illustrious history of our league. First, by recognizing our reigning champ, Lucas. Congrats, buddy, again. This is, the start of your defense is today, tonight, tomorrow, this weekend, whenever your players kind of get going. But just want to recognize our current champ, our reigning champ right now. Congrats. We've got Sean and Steve as former champs, and of course, I hold 2 titles myself. Big trade went through yesterday between Mark and Daryl. It's really one of those rare times when it actually makes both teams better, I think. Mark had a lot of QBs that, all were kind of middling or unproven in Jaden Daniels' situation. And he turns a couple of them into Patrick Mahomes, which was a clear upgrade for him at any of his quarterback positions, while Daryl gets Jaden Daniels and Matt Stafford, 2 starting QBs, 2 startable QBs, which he didn't have. He only had Mahomes. He didn't have a second position in the Superflex, which we'll see later. Someone else doesn't have that, didn't even realize it. He didn't even have 2 starting QBs to play this year in our Superflex transition. And he's got J.J. McCarthy recovering from injury, so, he's setting himself up nicely to have a baseline at least in the future for our Superflex league. It's a good trade. I still think, Daryl's team, like he said, it's still it's gonna be rough this year for him. He has the lowest week 1 point total, but he said he's playing for the lottery. Okay, so he's looking ahead to that lottery. That's kind of his play right now. And Mark, I don't know. It doesn't bump him into the top group, but it certainly improves his chances this year. And with a good run by Mahomes, by the Chiefs, by the rest of Mark's players, he could be in position at the end. But I do think it makes both of their teams immediately better. So that's kind of good for both of them. I'm just happy to have you guys back. Happy to be here talking to you again. I really should see if I can switch this angle up just a tidbit. Let me see here. I don't think that's going to work very well for me. Stand that up more. No, this isn't happening, guys. It's not working. So we're gonna have to stick with where I am right now. I'll be honest, I'm kind of trying to use my computer as a backdrop to kind of hide my phone from a bunch of crazy kids that are right outside that window. You might be able to hear some of the yelling and stuff out there. They're having lunch in a little quasi cafeteria across the hallway from my new classroom and office. I'm pumped to be back with you guys. Pumped to be here, jumping back in to the fantasy football season. Starts tonight. KC versus Baltimore. Awesome matchup. They really gave us a big wrapped present to open up the first night. Last year it was KC and the Lions, I believe, on Thursday Night Football, and ended up being a sort of a coming out party for the Lions for sure. Now both of these teams already expected to. I'm not sure if coming out party is the right term there. Whatever. Both these teams are already established. Both these teams are Super Bowl contenders. Both have MVP candidates at quarterback. It should be just an awesome game. Lots of fantasy implications in the game tonight. So that's fantastic, and we're starting it off right away. Speaking of starting off, let's jump into the matchups for the week. So we got the Portland Ducks versus the Meeseeks Meat Packers. We're jumping right in with Daryl's matchup, okay, because it's probably the least interesting of this week. After talking about Daryl's trade, we're going to go with Daryl and Sean's matchup here. The Meeseeks Meat Packers, probably more like the He Seeks draft picks. I think that's what Daryl's going for here. He's going for the draft. Right now the projection is 190 to 149. It's one of the biggest spreads I feel like I've seen in our league, and definitely week one when no one's trying to tank already, or maybe Daryl already is. Sean's team looks loaded this year. His projection's the second highest in the league, even without Jamar Chase. He should be in the title hunt all season long. We've seen him win this league before. There's not too much to unpack here in this game. I will say I think Devon Achane will show up as the MVP of this matchup in his game against Jacksonville. I think it'll be a big first week for all of the Dolphins in their warm weather game against Jacksonville. They thrive in that stuff. Sean's going to get the win. Daryl's going to get the first of many losses, I would assume, this year as he looks ahead to that lottery. So, yeah, welcome back. Win for Sean. Daryl, trust the process. I think that's all we can go with. He's a Philly guy. Trust the process. The process didn't work in Philly, but, maybe it'll work for Daryl. You never know. Next one. Purdy Balls versus I'm here for the trophy, or I'm here for the championship, or I'm here for the ship. I don't know. It's a trophy emoji, so I'm here for the trophy. I'm here for the trophy. This is Phil. This is Purdy Balls me against I'm here for the emoji. Phil, okay? Current projection, 205 to 177. It's the second biggest spread of the week, favoring me. It's another a matchup affected by a trade right away. If I could talk. So yeah, another matchup affected by a trade right away. The trade between me and Phil. I really didn't believe in and have faith in Josh Jacobs anymore. I saw a crowded room in Green Bay and a coach who likes the committee setup. So we made a trade. I got Kamara and a youngish receiver, a guy that maybe hasn't lived up to his potential, but I see some possibility. So Phil and I made that trade. Running back for an older running back plus a wide receiver who should be entering his prime years. It's at first I was pumped about it. Now with all of the injuries behind Josh Jacobs in Green Bay, now I'm like, God, come on! That just set up really well for Phil there with all those injuries. Overall, I think my team's better than Phil's. I mean, the projections are there, but I don't like picking myself. I feel like I lose when I pick myself. So I'm gonna really go the other way and say Phil wins, and he wins because of the guy that I just gave him. That Josh Jacobs will be his MVP. Just pouring egg on my face. Phil's going to get the shocking upset, I guess, and have Josh Jacobs be the MVP. We do get to watch on Friday Green Bay and Philly play. So Josh Jacobs and my guy Saquon Barkley will be playing against each other. So that's kind of fun for our matchup. But I'm picking Phil in the upset because I don't like how things have gone since that trade went down. All right, there it is. All right, now on to the next matchup. These Nuts versus OBF, Oregon Beer Forest. So we got JD and Mark. Mark is Oregon Beer Forest. JD is These Nuts. The last of the Doha holdouts, the last two that were there, and now just one stands alone. JD is the last member of our league still residing in Qatar. I miss Qatar. I'm missing it more and more. I'd love to visit. It's been really hitting me recently how much I would like to go there, how much I miss certain things there. So I love it for JD that he's still there. Right now, it's a very close projection, 170 to 168, favoring JD. This was very close to being the game of the week, but there were some teams with higher aspirations who also had a very tight spread in some other games. This is actually amazing that they are facing off because post-trade that just happened, Mark acquires Patrick Mahomes, JD has Lamar Jackson, and they are going head-to-head tonight on Thursday Night Football. So it's really excellent that we get the on-field matchup happening in the first game of the first meaningful action of our Swing Dynasty Season 6. So that's cool. I think Mahomes will have the advantage tonight. Chiefs defense was very good against Lamar Jackson last year. They're at home. And it's their face. Yeah, I think Mahomes is going to have a little bit of a advantage over Lamar. Obviously, Baltimore's defense is very good. They're great against the run. Maybe that means Mahomes has to pass more, play with the weapons that he has, because I think his weapons are better this year. I also like Mark's running backs over JD in this matchup. JD does have a big advantage with tight end, where he's got Sam Laporta. Mark has Dallas Goedert. I don't think that's even at all. I think that's a huge boon for Laporta, especially at home with Jared Goff, who's home dome Goffrey is just great. And so I think Mark's going to pull off this upset despite that. I think that the tight end advantage isn't enough to overcome. I think will be a win by Mahomes and a win by Mark's running backs, and then Mark gets the win here. So I'm picking Mark for a week 1 upset. So that's 2 upsets already predicted. And yeah, that's what I've got rolling forward. Okay, so next game, 4th game, single-digit Doms versus the Paler Broncos. What's this now? Adam with a strong opening line. Not if he wins this, it's not because the other team didn't score points. Okay, he's got a strong opening line. He has the long, slow climb of his rebuild finally put him into a consistent position to compete in this league. It seems like we're there. I'll go over some of the players that are making that possible. 183 to 177. He's projected over Steve. Steve has been the highest in our league in win percentage. And he's 4 wins ahead of me and Bert, who are tied for second. So Steve has been our highest winning manager so far in this league. Okay. Doesn't have 2 titles though. You don't, Steve. You don't have 2 titles, but you have won the most games. You are like the Buffalo Bills. No, they actually won. Then you actually did win one. I don't know who that'd be like. I don't know. Like Ben Roethlisberger or something like that. Or you got a title. Did he get 2? I can't remember. But you've had a lot of wins, buddy. You've been our highest percentage, but I'm worried that some of that roster's starting to age out now. And Adam is the up and comer, ready to knock off the reigning win percentage guy in our league. So it's a turnaround. It's a turnaround. What's happening here between these two teams. So here's the secret in this game, though. I think I actually like Adam by even more than the spread. He's now running out Bijan, CD, Tank Dell, Brandon Ayuk, Rashee Rice as headliners. Okay, James Conner as his consistent second running back. He's got Sturdy Purdy. He's got Steady, is what I meant to say. Steady quarterback play. Brock Purdy and Kirk Cousins, assuming that he's okay to go. He's really back. If he just had one more reliable running back, maybe one more guy in the flex, then I think his building process would be completely over. And now he's in his championship window. He does need. I feel like he needs one more thing though. One more, especially with the way some of our teams are kind of loaded right now. But a few injuries, and Adam could be in the championship window this year. He could already be there. I mean, this is a very solid team. I just don't think he has necessarily all the depth that other teams have, but way more than he used to. This is no longer a 1-star team. These are star players. Bijan, CD, Ayuk. Tank Dell could become a star. He's not right now, but he's very good. Rashee Rice could become that guy if he's allowed to play this whole season. So I feel like Adam is at a point where it is a consistent, ready to compete, and I think he's going to win this and win by more than the spread. Quite the tale there. Adam wins week 1. All right, congrats. All right, on to our game of the week, fellas. The game of the week, there's only 2 teams left, and it features our defending champ, Lucas, and a guy who's always been, like I said, he's the second highest winning percentage, tied with me for the second highest winning percentage in our league over these 5 years, but has never gotten over the hump. Maybe he is the Buffalo Bills. He is Bert. So his team name, Mingo Ate My Baby, and then versus... Now, I've been trying to say this one in my head. Etienne Everything Hurts. ETN Everything Hurts. I don't get it. Am I not saying it correctly? Is it yet again Everything Hurts? Etienne Everything Hurts. Everything Hurts. I don't know, man. You guys figure it out. You tell me what I'm missing here. All right, so anyways, this is the reigning champ against the guy with the second highest winning percentage in our league, tied for it with me. I'm can't let that go. But no trophies. Bert was in rebuild mode. It seemed like for a hot minute. Man, I was already back in the mix. Maybe it was just more like a renovation. He's projected to win 182 to 178, 4-point projection in this game. It's a great QB matchup with Bert starting Josh Allen and Kyler Murray against Lucas playing Hurts, and never mind. That's where we have another person without a second QB. Lucas did kind of sell out for that trophy. We got it. Never can take it away from him. But moved some pieces around. Did not. I offered him a trade for a quarterback last year that he laughed at, and now he has no quarterback. So maybe, and I don't even think it was that bad of a trade. I don't remember what it was, honestly. But yeah, I don't know. He's only has one starting QB in a flex league in week 1. So I'm wondering if he will try to put Jacoby Brissett in this position. Is it, over Calvin Ridley, who's currently in a super flex? Is that really better to have Jacoby Brissett there, or would it be smarter to leave Calvin Ridley there? I don't know. Traditionally the quarterback would get more points, but it's Jacoby Brissett for the Patriots and Calvin Ridley, who could have a really big year. I've drafted him in quite a few places this year. It's a really debatable question about which one would be better for him. The running backs are solid here with Gibbs and Pollard for Burt, and Etienne and Rachaad White for Lucas. The flex is crazy, though. The flex is there. In a lot of ways, it could be starters for them that they are just in the flex. I didn't check the dates of the games and if it's a later game and that's why they're in the flex. But it's Marvin Harrison Jr. and Nico Collins for Burt against Isaiah Pacheco and David Montgomery for for Lucas. Those are two very good flex groups going on. It's a very interesting matchup. If Lucas had a second QB in here, I would probably be leaning towards his direction. But without that, I like Burt to pull away with these two QBs who happen to actually playing each other too. His two QBs are playing against each other. Josh Allen's Buffalo Bills, Kyler's Arizona Cardinals, Lucas's team, by the way, they are playing against each other this weekend. So Burt's hoping for a shootout, get those points up on the board. I think it happens because Arizona's defense is trash, so they're going to have to throw the ball. Bills' defense not what it used to be, and I think they will be able to throw the ball. The Cardinals will, so that could benefit Burt with his Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. stack, and I think Burt gets the win. Not an upset, but sort of an upset because it's against the defending champ. So that's it, fellas. That's it. 17 minutes. Didn't seem like that. Went fast. Love doing this for you guys. Love doing this for our league. So welcome back to football, buddies. Miss you guys. Love you guys. Happy to be back talking to you about Schwing Dynasty football. Peace.